Hey, Belleville, it is Mayor Michael Melham here, also known as New Jersey's mayor, as I'm told. Coming to you live with just one or two quick things. I just kind of wanted to get it out there. Several members of the media have asked me to respond to certain things that Congress people are saying at the federal level, and I want to make sure that we get it right. I want to make sure that I tell you exactly what those Congress people are saying, and I want to make sure that you know exactly what I said in response. I think it's educational and enlightening. So just give me a few minutes here. We're just going to make sure that everybody's joining. This is a live feed, and I want to make sure that I could actually potentially respond to people live if need be. So that's why I don't mind me looking at my phone. I even have my exact statement that I issued today that I'm going to actually make sure I read for you guys. Okay, so I do see that we are live, which is good. I do see people are joining us, which is even better. This stream, if you're going to come in a little bit late, will also be saved to my Facebook page and also to my YouTube channel, which is New Jersey's Mayor, NJS Mayor on YouTube. So without further ado, several members of the media have asked me to comment because we made a little bit of news yesterday as I did a show in New York City at 8:30 in the morning. Within a couple hours, some of the things that were discussed on that show went national and even went international. Let me just say this. I'm happy for the conversation. I'm happy for the discussion. If it wasn't for that conversation, if it wasn't for that discussion, whether you agree with it or not, whether you think it was a conspiracy theory. By the way, I'm not the one that brought it up. It was the host that brought up this idea of radioactive material. Didn't start with me. I knew a little bit about it, which is why we went there. But no matter how you feel about that, we sparked a conversation, which is good, because just 24 hours after that, we literally saw members of Congress commenting on that conversation about radioactive material. So I think it's interesting. I think you need to know what your Congress people are saying. I think you need to know how dysfunctional it has become. And I think you need to know that Congress people, even at the highest level, I'm going to go through 3 different Congress people, what they said, how different they all are, and the fact that we still have very little information. So don't mind me if I'm going to read directly from my notes, but I want to make sure that you heard directly from me on this topic. Still, today, more questions than answers. We are 4 weeks into this. I'm about 7 days into this nonstop. Still more questions than answers. So just to kind of set this up, I got reached out today by several members of the media saying, hey, members of Congress came out of a really classified briefing yesterday. Just to back it up for 1 second, it was the members of the House Intelligence Committee. These are the people that are in the know or should be in the know. They had a classified briefing. Now, just to set this up, this classified briefing was about 2 o'clock yesterday, which was Tuesday. About 24 hours before that, every single mayor in New Jersey was invited to a White House briefing. It was the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs. We were on that briefing, and we literally got told nothing. What else is new? We got told it's all misidentification. There's nothing to see here. You guys are basically seeing things. There has not been one reportable or credible report of an unknown aerial vehicle in the sky over New Jersey. The same party line they've been telling us. There's 1 million drones out there. There's 800,000 operators. It is not illegal to fly a drone at nighttime, which it's not, by the way. We got told all the party lines, all the regular stuff that we've been told, and none of us are buying it, okay? But interestingly, that was on Tuesday. The very next day, which was a couple hours after this news broke on the New York show on Fox, a couple hours after that, all of a sudden, the House Intelligence Committee goes into a classified briefing. That classified briefing lasted 3 hours. Now I got to ask you, if we got told during our White House call on Monday that we were going to be told everything the federal government knows, and it was next to nothing because they didn't tell us anything. So what content did they have to actually brief these members of the House Intelligence Committee? Why did they get 3 hours and what was said in that meeting as opposed to them telling the mayors in New Jersey who are the closest to the ground? We are boots on the ground. I have to deal with residents who are concerned and worried and anxious. Yet they filled up 3 hours to tell members of the House Intelligence Committee. And interestingly, one of those members is actually a New Jersey Congressperson, Josh Gottheimer. He's actually a candidate for governor or said to be run for governor next year. A week ago, he was pretty strong out there on social media, demanding answers. He wanted answers. Yet, as a member of the Intelligence Committee, came out yesterday and towed the party line. There's 1 million drones out there. You know, it's not nefarious in any nature. It is not us. You know, just all the basic things. I noticed a substantial change in demeanor there. So let's get into that, because I do want to quote these people specifically. I don't want anybody to be taken out of context. So I got an email, several emails from media outlets asking me to respond. It just was easier for me to type up a statement and send it rather than me post that statement now. I'm just going to basically read it for you. So here we go. When they asked me my opinion on what members of Congress were saying, here it was. Forgive my skepticism, but recent developments leave me, my colleagues, and most importantly, the residents of New Jersey unsettled. Just last week, Governor Murphy described these drones as very sophisticated, noting that the minute you get eyes on them, they go dark. Now, this is fact. So I like to sit there and tell you the facts that I know. I know the governor said this. I've seen him say this. It was a press release, or he was asked a question during a press conference. Those are his exact words. Just 2 days later, every single mayor in New Jersey, along with members of our state legislature, were summoned to an unprecedented security briefing at the state police headquarters, a meeting that unfortunately our governor didn't attend, and I still say he should have been there. We were informed that drones were hovering over our critical infrastructure, yet we were left with more questions than answers. And again, at that briefing, state police informed me, us, all mayors, that drones were hovering over our critical infrastructure. They also informed us that these drones were not emitting a radio frequency or radio signal. They could not be jammed and could not be tracked. These are facts. These are not wild conspiracy theories. These are facts. What our governor said is a fact, and what our state police told us are facts. I just gave you them right there. I continued. Only 2 days ago, during a call with the White House Office of Intergovernmental Affairs, we were assured that the sightings are misidentified manned aircraft and that there was basically nothing to see here. However, less than 24 hours after our briefing, the CIA, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Defense met with members of the House Intelligence Committee for a nearly 3-hour classified briefing about unidentified aircraft that have been reported in multiple states. Again, they met with them for 3 hours. They gave the mayors the day before 45 minutes and said there's nothing to see here. If there's nothing to see here, you could say that in one sentence. What did they talk about for 3 hours? Since then, I continued, the discrepancies in communications have been concerning. Here's the part I want you all to take away from this. We all think that when something comes from Washington or the White House or the administration or a big defense secretary or somebody that's got a lot of medals on, you take their word at face value. Well, I'm going to read you 3 quotes from 3 different congresspeople, and then you tell me what you think about that. Are you ready for that? Within the span of a day, we've heard conflicting statements from high-ranking government officials. Members of the Intelligence Committee echoed the administration's line, claiming there appears to be no nefarious activity and that these are not federal operations. So after their 3-hour classified briefing, they come out and basically say no nefarious activity and they're not federal operations. What they did with the other 2 hours and 58 minutes, I have no idea. However, I'll continue. The Foreign Affairs Committee chairman, are you ready for this? The Foreign Affairs Committee chairman believes that some of these drones are Chinese spy drones. So he came out, he issued a statement saying that he believes that what's going on over New Jersey is actually Chinese spy drones. So how is it that the Intelligence Committee comes out and says nothing nefarious, and they're not ours, and then the foreign intelligence people come out and say, well, these are Chinese spy drones. Well, I'm sorry, if it's Chinese spy drones, it's nefarious, okay? Let's just call a spade a spade. So right now we have intelligence people saying nothing nefarious, and they're saying they're not ours, and we have foreign people, Foreign Affairs Committee, saying they are Chinese drones. Now, adding a little more confusion to that, last week, New Jersey Congressman Van Drew, citing, by the way, that his information comes from high-level, credible sources. And he went on to say, people with expertise and clearance to address real threats. He mentioned, this is a third congressman, he mentioned a missing Iranian drone ship that may be acting as a mothership sitting off our coastline. 3 different groups of congresspeople, all with different levels of intelligence clearings, all saying different things. I ended my statement by saying, I'm hoping you can understand why I remain highly skeptical of the official explanations provided to us so far. People, Today, we still have more questions than answers. Here's what I still believe. I still believe that the U.S. government has assets in the air, and I'm okay with that. I still believe that those assets are monitoring our critical infrastructure. Again, I'm totally fine with that. I still believe that we may be flying grid-like patterns, searching or sniffing for a known threat. Totally fine, totally plausible. I'm okay with that. And when they say, by the way, take this one. When they say they aren't ours, it doesn't mean they're not ours. I don't know how else to say that. When they say it's not ours, doesn't mean it's not ours. Because when the Army or when the DOD or Homeland Security, FBI says, well, it's not ours, we just think, well, that means it's not our government's. But what they're not saying is they give themselves plausible deniability, because it very well could be a defense contractor. So they could say 10, 15 years from now when it really comes out, well, you see, we said it wasn't DOD. Okay, but the DOD hires a defense contractor. You can't have it both ways, people. You just can't have it both ways. So with that being said, there are still more questions than answers, and I will conclude with this. We are getting reports from our local FBI that residents are attempting to take the law in their own hands. First of all, it's a federal offense to shoot at a drone. Drones are considered aircraft. If they're in the space, they are considered FAA. It's against federal regulations if you are to fire on them. Next, we are getting reports of pilots coming from and landing from Newark International Airport saying they are being distracted by laser pointers. So please, no laser pointers, federal offense, and don't ever think about taking the law in your own hands. I'll end with this. I have been the one for the last 7 days talking about the need for the truth and the need for transparency, and how transparency would eliminate or would quell any kind of conspiracy theories that are fueling online. We're seeking the truth. We want answers. We deserve to know what's flying just above our homes. I truly believe that, and we're going to stay on this, and I want to make sure we get answers for everybody here in New Jersey. Thank you.